Awesome.
There we go. So you guys, thank you so much for being on with us. I know that this is a lighter, and I did tell Spencer ahead of time that this is like our mastermind time slot, one of the masterminds that we do have, but this is one that I'm able to be on longer. The early morning one, it's very short because I lead a call right after that one as well. So I'm just excited to have you. Spencer reached out to me, I think after the last Super Weekend, and
Yep.
said that he does live presentations at super weekends and whatnot. And I was just kind of like poking around on his website and reading about him and watched a couple videos. And I was like, well, this is really cool. I really love your message. And so I was very excited. And thank you for being persistent and reaching back out to me when I let things fall through the cracks, because email is my nemesis. But I'm very excited that we got a chance to be on with you today. So without further ado, I would love to pass the torch right on over to Spencer Jones.
Well, hey everyone. Thank you for the awesome intro. I am so excited to be chatting with you and your awesome team, the Fit Finances team, and just help you go after your goals. So a little bit about me, so you know the person who's up here chatting with y'all. I love seeing more people pop on here. That's so cool. Yay. I am a wild, energetic, crazy guy who talks fast and has lots of energy. So if you miss something or if I say something it's not clear, which happens, just let me know and we can go back and talk about it. I was a middle school and high school choir director for 9 years and have recently stepped away from the teaching field. I retired, as I call it, from teaching in the classroom to teach more on stages and in calls like this, because what I realized is that when I love teaching, I love seeing the kids get their aha moments, that moments when they're struggling with something and they're not getting it, and then they get that aha moment when they all of a sudden it clicks. I love that in teaching and choir, and I love doing it with more people and having calls like this and being on stages where I get to help more people have those aha moments and help you, as what I say, chase your passions to the max, right? To help you live your best life. So cool to be here. Thank you again. Now, I shared a video with Holly a couple days ago, I think before the weekend started, about what we'll be chatting about tonight, because Holly mentioned two topics that she thought would be interesting and useful for all of you. And that is a perspective shift and embracing your uniqueness. So let's just jump right in. We'll see how it goes. And if you have questions or whatever, awesome. I'll open up the chat room, lights my window so I can see. So if you have questions, you feel free to jump in the chat room, ask questions or ask them live. That'd be awesome. So we can help you really do your best and go after your goals the most. So hey, everyone, just joining on. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so perspective shift. Let's just jump in. There's two different types of perspective shift that I want to touch on tonight. One of them is going to be about you, your personal perspective about yourself. Going from that I can't standpoint, the belief that I can't do this, I'm not good enough to do this, I'm not worthy to do this, all that, to believing in yourself and then owning it and being a rock star at your business, at your own beliefs, or whatever it is that you're going for, whatever that goal is, right? I'm assuming your team Fit Finances, that you want to make sure you're financially stable, that you're happy and able to enjoy your life. So that's one of your goals that you're working for, right? So there's a progression here that happens with your personal perspective shift. So you go from this, can't believe, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, and whether that comes from experiences you had in the life before, earlier on in life, or life put you through the ringer, who knows? But you're at that point where you're thinking, I can't do this, I'm not good enough. You have to move from that mindset to the belief mindset. And to do that, you need to envision yourself, right? You need to see yourself, not just in the belief mindset, but in that owning it mindset, right? So you go from the can't to believe to own. So you need to see yourself, envision it. This is where like the vision boards come in. If you believe in doing vision boards, you find things that you want to achieve, your goal is to achieve, and you print it out, you write it out, and you put it on a board where you see it daily. Those vision boards are going to be that mental cue to you and visual cue and reminder of, yep, this is why I'm doing it. This is what I'm going for, and here's my reason why I'm doing it. So you envision yourself there. And it could be a visualization time where you literally just sit, close your eyes, and visualize yourself owning it and being that rock star that you know you are. Or it could be vision boards or something of that nature. Another thing that I love to do, and I do this every morning, is positive affirmations. I say these positive affirmations, part of my morning routine that I do, called joggers is my personal one that I use. But so I use these positive affirmations to help just reinforce and let myself, yep, I am worthy, I am worth it. If you do the bar blend, they have the affirmation cards in there as well, which is pretty cool that they have those there. And I have my own, and I make up my own, I write my own, and do those just to help me shift my mindset from the can't to believe to own, and then continuing to own it as we go along. And then surround yourself with positivity, right? So you want to surround yourself with positive people. Look at this awesome tribe of people you have here just on this call, right? Like, this is freaking awesome. You have like 15 people here on the call. So awesome that all of you are here and you are helping each other. You can be that team for each other. And not only this team, but especially with being Beachbody coaches, I'm a Beachbody coach as well, that your personal team is there to help you, and you surround yourself with them to keep that positivity going. Because you know what? Life happens. We struggle at points. We fall down. We stumble. We miss a workout. We miss a goal, or something happens, right? Use that team to help lift you up and help you continue to move towards that owning it stage that you have with yourself, right? So surrounding yourself with that positive team is huge. And then find the successes along the way as you're on this journey of life, as you're on this journey of going after your goals, of saying, I can't do it, to saying, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go and do the best I can. And you're going to find successes along the way. Sometimes they're really small. Sometimes they're huge. And it's awesome. And you got to embrace it and love those things, the big ones and the small ones. Enjoy those successes and celebrate those successes. And when those little setbacks happen, you have your team, you have your affirmations, you have your vision board to help you keep going when that happens, when you fall down. And last but not least, you fully enjoy the moment. You fully enjoy not only the journey, the entire journey, but each moment along the way, because life's about these moments. You want to be present, you want to be in that moment. And when you reach that owning it stage, that saying, yeah, I'm a rock star, this is awesome, I'm exactly where I want to be, you get to really, truly enjoy the moment. And you can look back and say, I see why I struggled here, because it made this so much sweeter and that much better for me and for my team, for my family, for everyone. So that's a personal perspective shift. You have these three different stages, going from I can't to, okay, I didn't think I could, but I think I believe in myself now. I think I might be able to, we'll see. And then going from that to rock star status stage, we're owning it, we're having fun, right? So that's the personal perspective shift, that journey that we all go on. We all go through it. We all go through imposter syndrome as part of it, right? Where you don't think you're worthy enough, or you don't think, who am I to do this? We all go through it. I go through it when I jumped into doing my Jones and Ford business full time. I went through the imposter syndrome, like, who am I to do this, right? And I had to work through that system. Being a choir director, same thing, who am I? Being Beachbody coaches, who am I to do this? Who am I to help these people live their best life, to chase their passions to the max? And it's that journey that we find ourselves on. So that's your personal journey. And if you have questions, feel free to throw them up in the chat room. Any questions now before we shift on to a slightly different perspective shift? Going once, twice. All right, here we go. We'll jump into the next one. If you do have a question, feel free to ask, raise your hand, I don't know, clap, jump up and down, something, or throw it in the chat room. We'd be happy for it. Okay, so perspective shift in another way. Let me share a story with you first. So I told you I was a middle school, high school choir director. I went to college for music education, and my main instrument was the piano. So I play the piano. I'm a classically trained pianist, love playing the piano and singer and all that good stuff. But the story I'm going to tell you is about my piano professor. So I'm working on this piece of music with him, and there's this section in the piece, like really one measure, one small little bit of the piece of music that's just isn't clicking. I don't see how this sounds good at all. It's all these weird chords. It just doesn't seem to fit the piece. And I'm just struggling. I'm struggling memorizing it. I'm struggling playing it. It's just like going to hell in a handbasket over this one stupid measure in like this 4-page piece, right? It's just not clicking. It's not making sense. And then my professor tells me, you need eagle vision. And I look at him like, say, what? Eagle vision? Like, what? I, I don't even know what that is. And so he elaborated. And so eagle vision is essentially where you can see, you want to be an eagle, right? You're flying above the forest and you could see a mouse, a rabbit, a blade of grass on the bottom of the forest floor, and you could see the entire forest. So let's put that into perspective of the piece of music that I was working on. And it was, how does this measure, this tricky part, play into the rest of the piece? So how does this little section fit as a puzzle with this entire piece? And then how does this entire piece function with that single piece, right? It's all symbiotic. It's all part of the same thing. How does that work? And how does that combine and work together? Once we started drawing the connections between, oh, I see how this leads to this hard section and then that leads to this section, and oh, it resembles this, or it means this in the music. Mind blown, it clicks. And I kid you not, it was like turning on a light switch. All of a sudden playing that piece was easy. Playing that measure was easy because I understood it, not necessarily although I did understand it at a theoretical level, it was more, I understood it on the vision level of it, the emotional side of it. So let's turn it to your business, right? Let's turn it to you. There's different types of things we get stuck on in life. One of them is like that measure, that small detail, something small, something that, you just get hung up on that just keeps nagging at you over and over and over again. Well, you need to put that detail, that struggle the detail you're struggling with, into perspective. Look at it as, okay, I have this tiny little thing in this big picture. How does this little thing fit within this big picture? Put it within perspective. It's just a little thing. It's not the entire, project. It's not the entire program. I mean, whatever you're thinking about, right? Whatever it is, it's a small part of it. It's okay. It's just a small part. You want to put it into perspective. And then we as humans blow these things up into like huge monumental tasks in our head. And because we keep nagging ourselves over and over again, it starts, growing and growing and growing in this disaster in our heads. And really, it's not. It's a small thing. You need to put it in perspective. And the one way to do that, one helpful way to do that, is to verbalize it. Not just say it in your head, because yeah, we can say it in our head, but literally verbalize it. Say it out loud for yourself, to yourself. And then to a trusted friend if you can, if they don't think you're crazy, right? And you can share this little bit of struggle with them and just say it, because as soon as you say it out loud, even to yourself, your mind hears it and you go, you're right. This really isn't that big of a deal. Or I see where I'm struggling with this. And all of a sudden the light bulbs start clicking because you're not digging into that super detailed, finite thing of this tiny thing of this big picture. Right? So you do that, and then you start drawing connections between the small thing and how it fits within this whole big picture. You put it into perspective and you see where it fits in and how it connects. Pull yourself away from, like, you're that eagle, right? Instead of honing in on that blade of grass, back it away so you see the patch of grass. So you see the trees that surround it, and then you see the forest, right? Back yourself away. So we get hung up on details. But we can also get stuck on the big picture. We look at the whole forest and go, holy crap, look at that. It's a huge forest. What am I going to do? How am I going to get Success Club this month? How am I going to get Success Club 5? How am I going to get Success Club 10? There's no way. There's these cool trips these people go on. I really want to go on one of these trips. I want to give this to my family, whatever, right? We look at it and go, there's no freaking way. But guess what? It totally is a way, and there's a way, and you have to adjust your perspective, right? Instead of being overwhelmed by this huge forest of trees and goals and everything you set for yourself, break it down into smaller things. Look at a section of the forest. Look at the meadow inside the forest, right? You're breaking it down. So break it down into smaller sections, as I said. So you're looking at, like, let's say the meadow, right? So you break it down into these smaller sections, and then you break those sections down into tasks, smaller tasks. And those tasks are what you do to get you to achieve that big goal or the thing that's overwhelming, that project. Let's say you have a project due at work and it's this huge multi-step project and you're so overwhelmed with it, like, how am I going to do this? Well, you break it down into the steps, right? Into each section, and that section into steps. It's kind of like what you do when you like create a big, hairy, audacious goal, to steal Darren Hardy's words, right? You get this big goal. Well, how do you get that goal? Well, you break it down into, different steps. And I have this mini goal, these little benchmarks to meet along the way. And then I have these tasks that I need to meet every day. Like I'm doing this 5-day push-up challenge with some friends of mine in a fitness group. And so we added on we do 10 push-ups for the first day. This day's the first day. We do 10 push-ups every hour for 8 hours in the day. And then tomorrow it's 15 push-ups, and it's 20 push-ups every hour for those 8 hours, right? So yeah, we're weird. So we're doing this fun little challenge thing. And it's like, okay, well, if I looked at that, someone who's good at math can actually do this math for me. We did 80 push-ups today, and then it's 8 plus 40 is 120 push-ups tomorrow. All right, you can add it up and say, we have this bazillion amount of push-ups to do at the end of the week. Or you can break it down into smaller tasks and make it like manageable and achievable, right? So as opposed to doing a bazillion push-ups in 5 days, no, we just break it down into smaller tasks and make it manageable. Same thing when you're overwhelmed with this big problem, this big project, big goal, you break it down into smaller tasks. Don't be paralyzed by it, but break it down. Now, this is where I find, especially for these big goals, you make a visual. I can't talk. You make a visual of it. There you go. You break it down and make a whole visual of it. A visual, I can't talk, of the project. So you put your big thing on top, and then you break it down and you literally like write it out, draw it out. I don't know if you like computer programs, you can make cool little diagrams and have fun with it. And you can make your whole little pyramid of how you're going to get to that big goal, right? You make it so you can see it and you see the steps along the way. It goes for this big goal that you have, problems that you're starting, a project at work, whatever. How do you get success? I get too fast. Success Club 10. If you want to get to Success Club 10, there's these steps you have to make. I get really excited. My students blame me this all the time when I was a teacher, and I just talk so fast, I get overwhelmed. So I'm sorry. I ramble. I have so much fun stuff to share, and I get excited. I'm sorry. I'll calm down, maybe.
No, it's fine.
I haven't even had coffee.
I'm constantly tripping over my words. My entire team will tell you over and over again. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. So it's all good. It's fantastic. I love that. So I just want to say thank you. Number one, for being real and bringing so much. And this whole thing about breaking it down, sometimes even I still, same thing. Like sometimes I go, oh, like my kids have been home with me sick for, I feel like it's been a year, but it's really only been 4 days, but still it feels like a year. So today I was like, again, they're home again. And I just told my husband, I'm like, how am I going to hit my goal this month? And I was freaking out. Slow down, break it down. Like I know what to do. 12 years in this business. Hello. Like I know what to do, but it's how do you take, so here's my question for you. There's a question in here. How do you take yourself from that like freak out moment of, oh my God, like to be able to bring it in? Do you know what I'm saying? Let's chill out, write it down.
Yeah, that's an awesome question because it's hard. Our emotions get so involved and so ramped up with it that it's hard to calm yourself down. And I mean, this goes for when you're really excited or frustrated or angry at someone. It's kind of the same emotions and at least how I deal with them. So when I get really excited, or I shouldn't say, excited is the way to think about it, but like I'm excited, but I'm frantic about it. I'm stressed about it, right? It's all that energy that I have about this that's causing me to stress. So what I try to do is, first of all, stop, take a breath, like a legitimate, slow, deep breath, and release that built up tension, that energy. Just do that like 2 or 3 times, and you will start to feel better. Just physically feel better from that stress. So stop and breathe. Then you want to almost step outside of yourself, outside of your shoes, and look at it objectively as best as you can. Now, this is hard in the heat of the moment, especially, if that breath didn't pull you out enough, then maybe you need to do more. One thing I love to do is meditate, or I do yoga. I love yoga. I love meditating. It took me years to get the whole meditation thing, so I get that not for everyone. But for me, that really helps remove myself from that stressful situation and recenter myself. Yoga and meditation, that is. So you want to do that if you can, so you can basically remove yourself from the energy, that stress energy from it, and look at it objectively. If you can't do it through breathing, meditation, talk with a friend, verbalizing it, and trying to look at it reasonably, if that makes sense, will help along the way. And having friends there, trusted friends or family, to help you through that is going to help you out a ton. So you look at it objectively, and then you start breaking down your goal. Like, okay, let's be honest here. I have this big scary thing. My kids are home for 4 days. How am I going to do this? Well, okay, let's see. Maybe I don't know how old your kids are. If they still take naps, like during nap time, we could do this. Or if when my husband comes home, he can take care of them now, because I need this power half hour of just boom, focus, 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 right? And finding the ways around it. And that's where having, a spouse or a family member, a friend can help you find those times in your day to help make that happen for yourself. Because sometimes we do get so focused in it or so overwhelmed by it, so stressed that we just don't see it. And having that other person's look in and help us can really break that down. But I know for me, I'm a person who will ask a friend or my wife to help me out with it. But a lot of time I try doing it myself first. So I take the breath, I meditate if needed, and then I look at it objectively. And then I'll go to her and say, okay, so I'm really stressing about this, or I did. How does this look to you? And then it's just another more eyes on it, more input on it. Cool. So yeah, so you visualize it, you write it down, you make it all obtainable and noticeable for you, so you know what steps you need to take. Accountability from your friends or family, right? If you are struggling with something about like, am I worthy of it, or am I stressed about this, or whatever your perspective shift is, or your goals, share share it out with your team, your personal team, your Fit Finances team, right? You have this group of people here who want to see you succeed, who want to help you succeed. I want to see you succeed, right? So use me, use everyone on here to hold you accountable for your goals, right? So say, hey, I'm going to do this by this time, and I want you all to hold me accountable. That doesn't mean like be mean or harp on them, but just check in. Hey, how you doing with that? How's this going, right? And then offer advice if needed, if they ask for advice, or if you're struggling, like, hey, how can I do this? Do you have any suggestions? I'm struggling with this. Can I have some more input? That makes sense? Awesome.
Absolutely. That's actually the whole basis of why we have these masterminds. I've got these two little masterminds pockets. Um, and that's really ultimately like what the goal is. Like the whole format of the call is all right, let's brainstorm some stuff out. And sometimes people just stare at me blankly. And so I'm learning just to be quiet and be still in the moment. It's something I'm working on. But yeah, it's but that it is so important, right? Because we have all these things that come up and you're like, oh, should I even say that? And but it is so good to have, like, I have a little text thread. So like if
Yep.
something crappy happens or whatever, it's not like that we go on there to vent. We just say, okay, this is the challenge I'm facing. So they're all solution oriented people. So
Right.
it is nice to have that with people who understand where you're coming from, because a lot of the stuff my husband wouldn't understand, you know?
Well, and that's a lot of it. You need to have people who are in the same like-minded sense that you're going for. And I love the idea that you have a place not to vent, but to offer suggestions and helpful things for each other when someone's struggling, right? And the hard part with that is it can easily go to a venting session and complain. But as long as you're like, no, let's keep this focused on that goal, or helping me or helping you achieve whatever you want to achieve, then you're golden. It sounds like you're doing an awesome job with that. And as far as like being quiet and listening, something I struggle with too. And I've learned a lot. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching and business coaching as well. And that's one thing that I've really worked on and have learned is just listen and help guide, but more listen and help that person find the answers themselves, because then they're going to own it that much more. Same thing goes for your clients. You can guide them and you could suggest this workout program. You could suggest, hey, you should try Shakeology, do that, right? You can offer it, but they're not, I'll be honest with you, at least I found that they don't stick with it unless it's something that they truly commit to. They're not doing it because of a favor. They have to see and know their reason why they want to do it, and generally need to come up with on their own without you prompting that suggestion, right? You can help guide them to figure it out, but that's it if you want to have them to have sustained success. At least that's what I found. And, maybe you have something different, but that's what I found. So Cool. Okay, so we're about halfway through already this call. We're cruising through. Love it. Again, if you have questions or anything else, feel free to throw them up in chat or let me know. It'd be cool. The second half of the call is about embracing your uniqueness. Well, you have a really unique person in front of you, or kind of in front of you on the screen somewhere, chatting with you. And I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 unique and awesome people in front of me right now. How cool is that? You have 14 people in front of you who are unique, who are their own people, who are awesome, right? Isn't it so cool? Like you have this team of amazing people who are unique. And the hard part about being unique is you're unique, right? Like, it's so cool. Yes, I'm special. I'm different. I'm weird. For me, I'm weird. I'm crazy. I'm hyper. I love coffee. I love doing like ultra like endurance events and stuff like that, like running a half Ironman and well, running, biking, and swimming a half Ironman. But then like doing all those things, like I love it. I'm unique and I'm special. And I also like just sitting on my butt and watching movies and eating popcorn. Like, it's cool, right? We all are unique in our own way. So here's how you use being unique for your advantage. And this is where, when Holly mentioned, I offered a couple topics to talk about, and perspective shifts was one of them, and then embracing uniqueness was one of the others. And I'm thinking about this, embracing your uniqueness. And I'm thinking about you guys, all you ladies, and the Beachbody mindset of building your team and just life in general. It does not like Beachbody related directly, but it applies really well to it. There are many, many other coaches out there. There are many, many other people in the world who are trying to sell fitness, who are trying to sell health, who are trying to help people live their best life. Right here, right? I'm trying to help you live your best life, to chase your passions to the max. How can you use your uniqueness to your advantage? So I had a hard realization. I'll be really frank with you. I had a hard realization probably 3 weeks ago. I was doing an interview for my podcast, and the guy I interviewed, Doug Fitzgerald, another Beachbody coach, if you know him. I was interviewing him, and he said, every thought you've had, every idea you've had, someone else has thought of, someone else has done. And we're doing this in the interview, at least I'm fairly certain was, or happened right before we jumped on or started recording. And I'm going, that's so true. And what a hard realization to think, like, wow, I'm really not all that special in that sense. I mean, everyone else, my thought has been thought before. I mean, how old is the earth? How many people have lived on the earth before? It's not. But while your thought, your idea might not be unique in the sense that another person has thought of it, you haven't thought of it before. You and your flair, your style, the way you think, the way you process things, you haven't thought of that before. You haven't done that idea before, right? Let's say Holly has an idea, and Cloud, if I remember names right, had an idea, and same idea, cool, right? And like, oh, this is so cool. But you're going to approach it differently because you're two different people. You've lived different lives. You have different experiences that you draw on. You are going to take that idea, that thought, and approach it differently based on the experiences you've had in your life. It's your own unique take on that idea, or your own unique take on that thought, right? So how do you know what's unique about you, and how can you use this to your advantage in your business or whatever it is? Well, first, you need to kind of figure out what is unique about you. How do you figure this out? Some of us know, hyper, love being on stage, love making people smile, and yeah, the list goes on and on for me. So I know some of those things, and I bet you know some of those things about yourself already, but I bet you there's things that you don't know. I know I had to ask my wife and a couple of trusted friends to help me like name some of the things that are unique to me that maybe I didn't realize. So what I suggest is create a list. First of all, I suggest physically write down, but you could be digital, that's cool. Write down a list of the things that make you unique. Now, create your list yourself of the things you believe make you unique, and then do what I did ask a family, a friend, a family, friend member. Wow, I can't talk. Family member or a trusted friend, right? I say trusted friend because you could ask like any person that you had acquaintance, you have a coworker, hey, what makes me unique? And they'll tell you something, but it's probably gonna be more surface level. But if you have a really good friend or a spouse or a really close family member, they can give you a little more depth to that, right? So you can make that list as deep as you can, but what makes you unique, what makes you special in that sense. And then think of ways that uniqueness, that um, flair that you have, those special talents you have, can be used to help support what your dreams are, what your goals are, right? What the business is. So, okay, for me, I'm very energetic. I love talking with people and I like being on stage. So, what do? Well, I contacted Holly and said, hey, I love doing presentations in front of people and I know I can help motivate and inspire them. Would you be interested in having me on an event for you or talk with your group or something like that? And look, and here we are, right? So because I took that leap and looked at what I was good at and what I enjoy doing, that can lead to really cool things of doing things like this, of motivating, inspiring other people. Helps me get farther in my business in that sense, but it also makes me truly happy and energizes me more because I'm doing something that isn't forced. I'm not doing something that is that Holly does, which is awesome, and maybe that's how she runs her business, and it's great for her. But when I do it, it just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't feel right. It's off from my energy. It's off from my being, my center of self, whatever you want to call it. Right? That it just doesn't quite work for me. But now I'm using what does work for me. I know what my strengths are, and I can apply it to where it works for the business. So you think of ways of how you can use it. Now, sometimes, like in doing calls like this or being on stage, it's pretty apparent. Like, okay, this is really obvious that I could be good at this and doing it, and I like being on stage, hosting game shows and doing different things or concerts or whatever. So this is an easy thing to come up with. But sometimes it's a little bit harder. So you want to do some research on it. You can, we have this awesome thing called Google. Jump on Google and say, high energy person, grow business, like how, right? And just like, I don't know, it doesn't have to be like perfect English. Just put it in there and see what comes up and dig and do research. You might find something that's like the exact right thing for you, or you might not. And it leads you down this other like side alleyway that's like, oh yeah, this kind of it, but not really. And then it might give you more ideas. And or it all of a sudden sparks an idea and you're like, oh, totally. Like that would be perfect for me. Like that's right where I need to be with that. And it gives you those ideas. So research, right? Think about it yourself, do research. And then again, talk with family members, friends. You see this common theme between like family, friends, your tribe that you have, your team that you have. They're there for you in every step of the way. So when I was starting to build the Jones and Four business and helping people with their goals, I asked my team, hey, what are my strengths? I jumped on Facebook, right? And I got some really fun answers there as well. But I'm also like, okay, folks, keep it clean. But like, what are my strengths here? And then people commented, I'm a big kayak fisherman. I travel the country kayak fishing. I film my adventures, do that stuff. So no one ever said catching fish, which is very true because I suck at it, but I enjoy trying. So like going out on adventures and being outdoors, and so you get some surface level answers, but then there's some that made me think more, realize deeper down, and some were really good, awesome, deep answers that maybe I didn't think of. And then so you talk with your family, friends, and see how those strengths can be used that you have for your business. And then lastly, you practice. You get better with it. You try something and you see if it jives with you, if it jives with your energy, with your passions, with what you love to do and your business and your goals. Does it work with it? Don't just think about it. Don't just write it down. You actually got to practice. You actually got to put in the effort and try it, because sometimes you'll go like, nope, that's not for me right off the bat. And sometimes you try it and go, nope, that's not for me. Cool, but I tried it. And other times you go, oh yeah, right? I wasn't 100% sure about this, but I tried anyway, and this is totally it, right? This is so cool. So you put into practice, and the more you practice, the better you get with it. And just like everything, right? Running your coaching business, the more you do it, not necessarily easier it gets. I think parts of it get easier, but you grow, you learn, and you get better with it all the time. So the kind of common themes with this is, I don't know if you notice, even with the whole perspective shift, you surround yourself with people who are there to support you, who are there to encourage you, who are going to be positive people in your life. And you need to be confident and strong with yourself, right? Of who you are, of what you believe in, and what you want to achieve in your life. You need to know that through and through, I think. And maybe not, let me take that back. I wouldn't say you need to know that through and through. I think you need to be confident and strong with yourself to go for it, because life's a journey. We don't always know exactly we don't know what life holds for us. And so there is questioning, there is doubt, but as long as you're willing to take that step to go on that journey and to do that next step, that next project, next whatever it is, you're going to be moving ahead in life, and you will be getting closer to your goals and your dreams of whatever that is for you, right? Being fit finances, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's leaving your 9-to-5 job or whatever, right? Just having an extra meal out a month with you and your family, cool, right? Whatever that goal is, then you're able to do that. But you need to be strong, confident, and surround yourself with that community that's going to support you and help you out with that. So little things that I've done that have really helped me, just help me be confident and be strong with myself is, first of all, surround yourself with a supportive tribe, team, all y'all, right? Awesome. Another thing is I journal. I journal 6 days a week. I really should do it 7. I'm just slacking on Sundays. But you journal, right? I find that journaling helps me. I write down my thoughts. I write down what happened in the day, and I just kind of write down what's going through my head, right? There's not really a hard order of things that I do, what I journal about, except I just talk about my day. And then within a couple days, I start seeing kind of themes of how my thought patterns are going. And I realize, and can look back on them and go, oh yeah, I see why I was struggling before. That makes sense based on this thought pattern, right? Or even just, it's a way to get it out of you and to write it down. And by writing it down, you're rethinking things, you're reprocessing it, and helping you move forward in your life. Another one is daily affirmations. Again, we talked about that with the perspective shift, but those daily affirmations are just there to help you know who you are, be positive and be confident with who you are, and be strong. And then all that ties into being grateful. So I do, I kind of do the miracle morning. As I said, I have my own take on the called joggers, but the miracle morning sequence, and one of those is being grateful. So I wake up every day. Usually I wake up every day. Haven't not woken up yet every day, but so yay, winning at that part of life. And so I wake up, and then as I'm brushing my teeth, I go through the things I'm grateful for, and there has to be at least 3, minimum of 3 things I need to be grateful for that day. And I try not to repeat them, back-to-back days, right? Maybe within a week or so, but I don't overly think about it as long as it's not the same ones I said yesterday. But I think of things that I'm grateful for. It could be more than 3. But that way, I'm starting off my day being thankful, being grateful for the amazing things that I have in my life. And that's going to set my mind to be thinking positive, to be looking for the good things, and to get my day started off on a really positive note. And then combining that with your daily affirmations, your journaling, man, you're off to a rocking start to be strong, to be confident, and to chase your passions to the max, right? To embrace your uniqueness, your awesomeness as you go on this journey of this adventure of life that you have. And whether it's changing your perspective, going after big, hairy, audacious goals, or whatever, right? You are able to start off your day on a good note. Kind of like just kind of random thoughts here at the end, but just sharing it all. Brain dumps at night from Cloud. Yeah. So like you just like put all your thoughts down, journaling at night, which is that what you're talking about, Cloud? Yeah. Cool. I love it. So yeah, just write down your ideas, take journaling, and just brain dump, just blah, there you go, right? All over the page for you. One thing I do at night is I don't do brain dumps necessarily. I like ending my night on a positive note. I've tried to be a positive guy if you haven't figured that out. Um, so I start my day off with gratefulness, but then I end my day not necessarily with gratefulness or grateful notes. I end my day on writing down, again, at least three. I like threes. Um, at least three awesome things that happened that day. And they could be small things or they could be big things. Doesn't matter, right? It could be the fact that that first cup of coffee in the morning was so freaking delicious, winning at life. All right. Or it could be, I love coffee. Or it could be something really like actually meaningful and big, like the day I proposed to my wife and she said yes. Right. That is a huge thing. Right. So it could be small or really large or anywhere in between. But I like ending my day just writing down the things it's called I call it my reflection, part of the joggers, but that I reflect on the day and write down the things that were awesome. Because then I'm remembering it, I'm going to bed as a happy, positive thinking person, and then I usually have good dreams, and then wake up the next day and start it off with a bang again. So there you go. There's like a whole mess of words and ideas and thoughts thrown at you, really fast fire motion, rapid fire here for about 40 minutes or so about changing your perspective and embracing your uniqueness and all that awesome stuff. So first of all, y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for having me on this call. I love being here, love being part of this. Do you have any questions? And, I mean, I'd love to help you out with any part of this, or maybe work through things to you. We have a little time, we can do that, or whatever you want. The floor is open.
Can I ask a question? What's joggers? I don't know what joggers is. I'm not familiar.
Okay, so thank you for asking. First of all, I appreciate it. So my wife and I actually came up with that this past weekend, the name of it, because I've been doing them for a while, but we didn't actually put a name. I'm writing a book about how to chase your passions to the max. Essentially, it's a guideline of what to do to live your best life. Is essentially what it is. And joggers are part of them. So you have journaling, right? You have, and I got to remember what they all are. Reflection. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, now you put me on the spot, and I haven't written this chapter yet for the book.
That's
You did
okay.
it all before. It's all been in my head.
It can be so abstract, just whatever. Just throw out whatever. It doesn't have to
Okay,
be exact.
so basically what the joggers are is you journal, you do positive affirmations or your affirmations. Affirmations. Oh, gratefulness. Gratefulness. And then you exercise. You need at least 15 plus minutes, in my thing, 15 plus minutes. I do beach body workouts, right? I've been, it's 22 minutes or more generally a day. So 15 minutes or plus exercise a day, and then reflection at the end of the day. So you have 4 things at the beginning of the day for me to kick off your day. Journaling. I guess it's more Jaggers, but that sounds weird. Journaling, affirmations, gratefulness, and then exercise. And then at the end of the day, you finish it with a reflection.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love that. I need to journal more. Those are things personal. I'm just gonna throw it out there to my team. But like I've never done affirmations, much of gratitude, much of journaling. Let's see where my business can go if I actually, and every expert says to do those things.
So I'll be honest with you, and totally upfront. I thought it was complete BS, total BS. When I first started coaching and first heard of this, and a little bit before coaching, I didn't hear about it a ton before that. But like journaling, seriously, is it really that impactful? Or affirmations? Yeah, affirmations. I personally thought was total BS, total baloney before I actually started doing them. And same with the gratefulness thing, I could see, but I just never did it. And so then I started doing them, not all at once, right? I started with being grateful. Wow, that changed my mood like tenfold in the positive way, like instantly. Within the first 2 days, I noticed a change just in my general attitude and my general perception on life. It was crazy. And that, everyone's different. Yeah, you'll have your own things. I have my own things, whatever. But and then affirmations, I thought, man, and I've only really come to like truly believe in it within this past year. So, I mean, it's still relatively new for me. And I'm just totally want to be honest with y'all with that it's new to me, but I noticed that I will go to it and it'll help pull me from being in that dark spot. You go through a struggle, something hard in your life, that I'll use the affirmations to pull me out of it. But now that I'm using them daily, that much more, I don't have nearly as many of those dark moments or hard times. It helps keep me strong, helps keep me confident and going for that instead of sinking down into those dark ones. And that makes sense. And journaling, I used to journal, but it was always hit or miss. Like I used to be, oh, I'm going to journal. Every expert says it, so I start it. And I do it for like a week, and then I stop. And then, a year later or half a year later, I go, oh, I should journal. Do it for a week and stop. And now that I've started doing it consistently, it was something that just kind of strikes with you that, okay, you force yourself to do it. You need to remind yourself to do it. It becomes part of your routine. That, I used to do bullet points, and now I write paragraphs upon paragraphs because just life events have changed for me, and how things have changed and how my thought process changed with those events in life. My reflections have changed. My journaling has changed, and it helps me process through a lot of things. There are a lot of things to take on at once. You can do all the joggers or jaggers or whatever all at once. But if you take it one at a time, do one for a week and then add another one and then add another one. I mean, honestly, your journaling doesn't need to take 10 minutes. It could take 3 minutes. It could take 5 minutes to a minute, right? It doesn't have to be forever. The affirmations, but you're talking 30 seconds to a minute. Your gratefulness, a minute, right? So you're just adding these couple little things in your day to help just get you going. So let me lay that down, this challenge to Holly and the rest of your team. I challenge you to do the grateful things first. So list 3 things you are grateful for every morning, shortly after you wake up, somewhere between when you wake up and, within after you're done brushing your teeth or so, right? Somewhere in that time frame, think of things you're grateful for. You could write them down or you don't have to, whatever, but at least think of 3 things that you are grateful for. Do that for a week and see if you notice a change.
I love it. Thank you so much. Does anybody have a question that they would like to ask? Go for it, Cloud.
I have a question on the uniqueness, because
Yeah.
I have too much of that, I think, than what people want to see. How do
Never.
you know when it's something that's going to be detrimental to you sharing? Like, it's not going to put you in a, to where it, I don't know, positive light, or I don't even,
No,
not sure how
I think I get what
it.
you're saying there with it. So how is that like a certain aspect that a special talent you have or something that makes you unique can be detrimental to your goals or to living your best life? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Right. Because
Okay.
I've had a lot of experiences through life and they make me who I am, but
Right.
do I need to?
Well, first of all, this is a good question. I would say that you can't, I don't think you should ever deny who you are to yourself and like try to hide it, right? I mean, if it's going to do self-harm or something like that, then that's another issue, another topic, right? But if it's just who you are, then like own it and let it be you. Now, if you're noticing that that's going to I'm trying to see how I can word this. If that is affecting your goals that you have, if that's affecting a area in life you want to go to, you want to explore, or a goal you want to achieve, if that's stopping you or being detrimental to that goal, then maybe it's thinking about it differently. Not necessarily changing goals, but maybe seeing how that can be used to help you reach that goal within some degree. Not necessarily like, and I'm not telling you to turn it off. I'm not telling you to even turn it down. Maybe that's what you need to do, or focus, not even turn it down, maybe focus on your other strengths, your other things that make you unique to help you reach the goal. So it's not using it. It's not totally ignoring it and not trying to hide it, because it's you, right? You can't hide you. And then maybe, I'm just going to throw this out there, that the people who don't agree with it, who don't like it, unless they're your family, like do you need that negativity in your life? Like, I mean, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, right? So it's surrounding yourself with people who will support you being you. And it changes in life, right? Who I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago is not who I am today. And the friends I had back then, well, I'm still friends with some of them because we can still get along great. Not all of them do, right? So that kind of, it shifts over time.
Okay, they'll just kind of fall off then, and I won't have to kind of feel bad about it.
Why would you? right? They're not going to serve you. They're not going to help you be the best person that you are, right? So don't worry about, I mean, we're in the service industry essentially, right? We want to help people be their best and live their best life. And while we want to serve them, you can't do it to a disservice of yourself. You are going to be doing more harm, not necessarily for yourself, but you're going to be not doing yourself any favors by that, but you're not going to be doing them any favors because they're not going to resonate with you. They're not going to take in everything that you can share with them fully, right? As opposed to if they found someone that really resonated with them. Don't worry about it. You don't have to please everyone. You don't have to worry about being people pleaser, saying yes, or changing who you are for someone else. Don't ever do that. Be you. No matter what, be you.
Awesome. Any other questions? I have to say, I love the Eagle Vision thing because to me, I don't know if this was exactly where it was going, but what it made me think about was this. It made me think about, because, you know, a lot of times I'll ask myself, well, how does that story, right? Or how does that piece of me apply to this Beachbody business?
Mm-hmm.
Apply to me reaching other people or helping other people? Like, does it matter, you know, that I've been through this or that, or, you know, does it matter these hobbies and likes and whatever? But I think by stepping back and trying to see the grand scope, I think it really helps because it's like, oh, okay, all of those things are a part of me, which of course ties into uniqueness and whatnot. So that's kind of what I got out of it, was like stepping back and being able to be like, okay, all these little pieces of me do make sense to, you know, but it just I might not be connecting the dots myself, but they'll make sense to somebody else. Like you've mentioned a couple times, your addiction to coffee. I'm completely addicted to coffee. I love it. Like I step off my coffee creamer. I don't care how many, whatever, like it's mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things, right?
It's my vice. That's the
Yeah.
one vice I need to keep. I need my coffee.
I tell people, I'm like, step off. It's my one. So, but I think that that's really important, like all those little things. And I think that, you know, the more you will attract and at the same time repel some people, and that's cool, right? That's, if you're repelling people, you're doing a good job. You know, that's how I feel like you got to do both. Cause if you're not, cause some people will look at me and be like, oh my God, she is not my person.
Right. And that, I mean, that's part of especially building a business and just life in general. You're going to attract people, and those are the people you want to attract as long as you're being true. And this goes back to you, Cloud, that as long as you're being true to who you are going to attract the right people to you, and you're going to repel the people who aren't going to do you any service, who aren't going to be helpful for you, and you're not going to help them. And that's cool. They will find their own people. They will be attracted to their own tribe. No worries about it. Right. I have people who like me, and I have people who don't like me because of me. And I'm totally down with that.
Exactly. Very cool.
I will say really quick, just on, you said all these little aspects of your life that you can look back and see how it's all connected. It's hard to do in the moment. Like I don't necessarily see how like my kayak fishing and my fitness thing all fit into, and speaking and music, especially, like I have these vast different interests. How does it all fit in together? And sometimes, especially, I shouldn't say sometimes, but we don't always see the connection between it. And sometimes it's someone else suggesting it to it, or just letting life be, stop questioning it, and just let life, trust the universe to give you what you need, and the stars will align. And I'll be honest, it took a couple of years where I saw music. I saw like maybe use music and Beachbody. Then I saw, the outdoor industry, kayak fishing and Beachbody thing together. And now it's like, you know, it all kind of comes together, and I get to chase all these passions together. Some of the other presentations I do sitting at a piano, sharing that music story, Eagle Vision, but as I'm literally playing a piano, and sharing the moments with it. So, and same with kayak fishing, right? I get to bring my kayak places and talk about when I struggled when I was fishing on the Atlantic Ocean, and relate it to discovering your why, you know, whatever. All these things play into it, but you need to back away and see, and allow the universe to open itself up to you.
That's cool. And so how do we find more about you? I mean, I gave the sheet. If you guys didn't, go back into Fit Finances, and when I send you the recording too, I'll give you the outline too. I hope that you took notes as well. If not, you can re-listen to it. but you can tell us here live also how we can find more about you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for asking. You can check out my website, which is spencermjones.com. It's on that sheet, but spencermjones.com. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm Spencer Jones on there. Or you can go to Jones and Four, JONESINFOR, Jones and Four, like you're Jones and For something, you want something, on Facebook or Instagram as well. And just, yeah, follow me there. Have some fun. I have a show, a Jones and Four show, which is a podcast vlog and all that good stuff. But you can find all that stuff on my website, along with, I have like over 100 healthy cooking recipes on there. Just tons of fun stuff. Just essentially, my goal is to help you live your best life, to help you chase your passions to the max, reach those goals, coaching, all that good stuff. If you want to find out more, check out my website, hit me up, email me, DM me, whatever. I'd love to chat and help you all reach your goals. So Holly, thank you so much for having me on your call. I really appreciate it. And Mastermind Group, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And if you have questions, anything, reach out to me, reach out to Holly. She can give them to me, or you could, email me, DM me, whatever you need. And I will be more than happy to help you chase your passions.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. I will see you soon. Have a good night. Thank you, Spencer.
Good night. Thank you, everyone.